All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and
Shabbat
good
Shalom.
Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
It was an absolutely perfect day here in Huntington.
Amen.
We had some clouds, but I'll tell you what, that just added to the beauty of the day. The temperature was fine. There was a wind. If I could have spent all day outside, I would have today. But beautiful, beautiful day, shaping up to be a beautiful weekend. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful day. I'll take a dozen of these days to tell you the truth.
That is right.
And bank them, put them away for a rainy day, as it were.
There'll be plenty of those.
Hmm?
Plenty of those coming.
Well, you know what? You got to take.
Take what comes.
You got it. I'm just glad to get through the summer. All right, we are here. We're going to start welcoming Shabbos. Welcome Shabbat with Kabbalat Shabbat. We'll have Judy come up and light the candles. You'll find the blessing on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
We'll have to get another one of those. It's not working.
Are you allowed to light that other candle with the other one? No. You're not.
No.
Anybody got a light?
Yeah, just hold one. Just go on.
Okay.
It's a minhag. It's not a halacha to have 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher k'dashanu b'mitzvotav v'zivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
All right, let's turn to page 9. Page 9, we'll have a responsive reading. Top of. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted.
On
On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we care nothing for the rights of others.
On Shabbat.
Remember the justice of our duty and the
Better
better
world
world
of
of
our
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 God.
goal.
So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. All right, let's continue. We'll start really welcoming Shabbat on page 20 with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor dibor echad, Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'li tefillah, Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, merosh mikedem nehesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machshava techila, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech yemelucha, kumtzi'i mitoch hafecha, rach shevet B'mechabacha, v'hu yachamol alaychem la, lecha dodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Itna Ari Me'afar Kumi. Lifshi Bigdei Tifarteh Chami. Al Yad Ben Ishai Beitalachmi. Korva El Nafshi Gehala. Lecha Dodi Liprat Kala. B'nei Shabbat Nekavela. Hitorari, Kiva Orek Kumi Ori, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai Alai Nigla, Alecha Dodi Liprat Kala, Penei Shabbat Nekabela, Lo Tevoshi, Velo Tikomi, Mahatish tochach imatechem bi, v'achyechesu aniyehe ami, v'nihifneta irhaltila, lecha dodi liprat kala, v'nei shabbat nekabela, v'hayu l'shimsa shohosayich, v'rahachakuhu kol mevalayich, yasis alayich, Elohayim, Kihim sos chatan al kala, lecha dodi liprat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Yami usmol tifrotzi, V'et Adonai taharitzi, Al yadish ben partzi, V'nishmecha b'nagila, lecha dodi liprat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela, Bohim shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'sohola, Tochem u'nei am segula, Boi chala, lecha dodi liprat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Let's turn to page 22 for selected verses from Psalm 92, and let's read the outdented paragraph together in English. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-string harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. Tzadik katamar yifrach, ke'erez balvanot yiskeh shetulim, bebeit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu. O Jinun Beseva, Yeshenim Berahananim, Yiyu Lehagi, Ki Ashar Adonai, Suri Elo Avlakapo. Page 24, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashari, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's continue with the Arvit service, the evening service for Shabbat. And you'll find Baruch Hu found on page 146. 146 for Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. Let's read together on 147, the first bracha before Shema. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and years vanish. But your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Second blessing, the second bracha before Shema. Ahavat Rabbah, I'm sorry, it's tomorrow morning. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofteinu uvkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu, v'yorech yameinu, u'bahem nege yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatech al tasir mimenu li'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levacha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol meodecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha, Uvlechtecha b'derech, uv'shoktecha uv'kumecha, uv'kshartam le'ohot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha. Le'ma'an tizkeruhu v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Top of page, not top, middle of page 151. Let's read responsively. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Yet that oneness eludes our grasp, as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves,
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
we learn God's presence reveals common events, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Top of 152. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo osek ve'elech, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokeyam lifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed, v'nehemar ki chad Adonai et Yaakov, u'ga'alom yechazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Top of 153, the first two lines, and then the English. Hashkivehu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amideinu shomreinu l'chayim. Hashkivehu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'ha'amideinu shomreinu l'chayim. And let's read together the paragraph at the bottom of the page. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Top of page 154, verses from the book of Exodus, the book of Shemot. It's not Shabbat without it. We know it as Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We are at the Amidah, the central prayer of the evening service. We'll chant together 155, 156, and 157, and then we'll go silent as you can finish the Amidah on your own. You can read the Hebrew, the translations, or offer up your own prayer during that time. Let's begin together on page 155. Adonai sifatai tiftach u'v'yagid tivatecha. Adonai sifatai tiftach u'v'yagid tivatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גואל לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחייב את מטרה להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחייב עתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגיבור, ומדום מלך, מלך מביא ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות עתים, ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי המתים. So completing your Amidah, please continue at your own pace. Let's jump ahead to page 160 and read together in English. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. A little bit of hoda'ah, a little bit of thanksgiving and gratitude, top of page 163. Let's read responsively. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow. All praise to the source of being.
And let's close out the Amidah on 164 with the prayer for peace, or a prayer for peace. In the evening, it's Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Praise to you, Adonai, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. All right, let's jump ahead to the Mishaberach, middle of page 253. Please keep anybody that needs a little bit of extra healing in your minds close to your hearts. Middle of page 253. Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha v'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. All right, let's turn to page 258 and 259, prayers of our community. Dennis, how about on page 258, Dennis, the prayer for our congregation?
Okay. At the top.
Yep.
Source of all being, may the children in this community learn those passions from us, the love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with our integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction. And may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts have fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, shaltecha levacha b'yirah na'avod. David, prayer for our country.
O guard of life and liberty. May our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died at the defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen.
Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim, Yishlayu, Ahavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu, Shabbat Shemayim, Tzur Yisrael, Hagoalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Tzmichat Ulatenu. Hagein Aleha, B'yavrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha, Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Uracha, V'amitecha, Levasheha, Sareha, V'yoetzeha. V'takneim Be'etzah Tova Milfanecha, V'natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'nomar Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
This week it's Parsha Kititze, or Kititze, and we're starting to really wind down the book of Deuteronomy, the book of Devarim, and we're entering the last third of the book. Right, so things are starting to wrap up. We get 74 new mitzvot this week, and it's the most of any other parsha. And it's a diverse mixture of mitzvot, but if you go through it, it's mostly ethical mitzvot. Mitzvot that the rabbis classify bein adam l'chavero, interpersonal relationships, how we get along with each other. For example, now this is back in the day, we don't do this anymore, but if a woman was taken as a captive and the person who took her as spoils for war married her and then divorced her, he set her free. He couldn't keep her as a slave after he divorced her. We're told to build a fence around our roof, right? So this is one that I often cite to people about the need for fences around pools, right? The fence around the roof in the ancient world, they didn't have angled roofs like we do. They had a flat roof. And what they would use that flat roof for was all sorts of things. They would dry vegetables, dry laundry. They would go up in the evenings if it was cool out and sometimes sleep up there. And so we're commanded to put a fence around that roof lest somebody fall off, lest somebody walk off. So this idea of safety first. If a man has multiple wives, as they were wont to do, and he had a wife who he did not love all that much, but from her came his firstborn, he is the Bechor. That firstborn out of that woman is the firstborn, and he gets the lion's share of the inheritance. He doesn't, the husband can't give it to the firstborn of another wife whom he might like more if that wife bore him a son after that previous wife. A very, very lovely mitzvah. Bein sorer umoreh, the rebellious child. Right? Say you're a parent and you have a son who is rebellious, right? Doesn't want to listen, does what he wants, doesn't care what you tell him. Well, you could cart him out in front of the elders of the city and make your case, and then they will stone him for you. I figure I would have had a very short shelf life in biblical times. However, the rabbis later make this an impossible mitzvah to follow. They write it out of existence. They put such parameters around it that it is impossible to carry out. For example, if the two parents go and they are going to say to the elders of the city, our son has been misbehaving, has been doing this, has been doing that. What the rabbis say has to be done is that the father is taken into one room and the mother is taken to another room and they are questioned. And their answers have to match identically. If the father said, our son usually doesn't listen, and the mother said, our son sometimes doesn't listen, it's thrown out. It has to be exactly the same, verbatim. And later on, the rabbis will say, the people who are listening, the parents have to speak in the exact same voice so that you can't tell who's speaking. I mean, they just write it out of existence because I think they feared there would be a lot of dead kids. You have to return a lost animal or garment when you find it. You can't just ignore it. So, and then the rabbis will explain much later what you actually have to return and what you can keep for yourself, right? So if you find loose coins on the street, you can keep them. But if you find coins in a bag, you have to go and search out the owner. I mean, that's the ones that makes the most sense, right? Because if they're in a bag, somebody's going to miss that. Whereas if they're just like loose coins, they probably might have fallen out of a bag or something. But the rabbis say you have to return what you find. There's an interesting, the mother bird is not taken with her young. This is an example of the Torah being aware of that animals have feelings, right? So if you're going to take the mother's eggs, the bird's eggs, you have to shoo her away so she doesn't see you take them, right? Because that would cause her great pain. And the rabbis say, if you do this, right, you will be rewarded, right? This is a great mitzvah to do. There was a rabbi named Elisha ben Abuya, who was one of the most famous rabbis in the Mishnah and in the Talmud, and he's very seldom referred to by his name, Elisha ben Abuya. He's known as Acher, the other, because what had happened was he watched the boy go up climb a tree because his father said, go up and get the eggs in that tree. And so the boy went up, obeying his father. He shooed the mother bird away. And as he's coming down, he falls and breaks his neck and dies. And Elisha ben Abuya could not reconcile this. Here this boy was fulfilling two commandments that have promise that good things will happen to you if you fulfill the honoring of your parents and you shoo the mother bird away. And in the act of doing that, the boy died. And so Elisha ben Abuya became one of the great heretics in the tradition. He left Judaism and became a Greek philosopher. Adultery comes up in this week's parsha, and it carries the death penalty. So, wow. I wonder what would happen if these people who want to go back to biblical justice, I wonder how many senators and representatives would want that one gone very quickly. Oh, we can't follow that one, can we? The death penalty for adultery. You can go into your neighbor's vineyard or your neighbor's field and eat of his wheat and his grapes, but you can't take any containers with you, and you can't take a sickle, right? Something to cut with, but you can go in and eat. Uphold the rights of the immigrant, right? If you are out in the field and you're cutting your sheaves down, you're cutting whatever, you're pulling your corn out, you're doing whatever, and the stuff that falls onto the ground, you leave that there for the widow, the orphan, and the immigrant. And we're commanded to have honest weights and measures in all of our business dealings. Right, so there's a lot going on in this week's parsha, and it ends with the idea of remembering Amalek. And we're commanded to blot out his memory. And Amalek is, in our tradition, one of the great villains. He is the one who came up behind Bnei Yisrael as they were going through the desert and attacked the rear, which had the elderly and the sick and the children, and he slaughtered them. And so we are commanded, and this is the second time in the Torah, to blot out his memory. And the takeaway verse this week is really Lo tuchal lahit aleim. Do not be indifferent. Right? If you look at almost all of the mitzvot, you have to take some sort of action. You have to care, whether you find something on the ground, whether you're taking care of the widow and the orphan and the immigrant, whether you're protecting the sanctity of a marriage, of a betrothal, you have to take interest. And so, we also have the dignity and worth of human beings, right? Even the most marginal members of society deserve our care and our love. And so, as I said, 74 mitzvot this week, 27 positive and 47 negative. And that's your Torah portion in a nutshell. So we are just about 2 weeks into the month of Elul, which means the high holidays are 2 weeks away, a little over 2 weeks away. And Elul, as I talked last week, is a month of self-discovery, right? It's a time to think about who we are, where we are in our lives, and who and where we want to be. And it's a time of self-reflection. And this is very difficult for people, right? If you're going to have true self-reflection, if you're going to look at yourself honestly and really take a good hard look at where you are and who you are, that can be very difficult for people because we want to think the best of ourselves. But during the month of Elul, we realize that maybe we have fallen short of the mark. Maybe we're not as good as we thought we were. And so the month of Elul gives us that opportunity. Right? It's the training before the high holidays, right? Are we who we want to be? Are we where we want to be in our lives? And if not, if we want to improve one or the other, what do we need to do? And so for me, I've always, when I teach about Elul, about this month, it's about a journey, right? We have a month to do some very difficult work. But the point is that we are less interested in the destination, right? The destination ultimately is the high holidays, to be ready for that. But we're less interested in the destination right now. Way back in the beginning of the Torah, when we first meet the man named Avram, who becomes Avraham, the opening words of the parsha where we're introduced to him, where God says, Lech lecha, me'artzecha u'miloladecha u'mibeit avicha et ha'aretz asher arecha. God says to Abraham, you go from your homeland, from the land of your birth, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. Now, this is a weird construct, right? Even in English, it's weird because usually we get the destination and it's usually in great detail, right? So God could say, hey, go, and you're going to wind up in this beautiful land, this land flowing with milk and honey. It's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, they didn't have sliced bread. It'll be the best thing since sliced bread when they introduce sliced bread, but you got to go there, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. That's not the case, right? The departure, the place from which Abraham has to go, is what's important. He said, "Leave your land, the place where you were born, your father's house." Right? And the rabbis all wonder, what does this mean? What does this mean? And for me, what it means is that you have to give up all the things that form your identity, or all the things that you think you are, to see who you truly are, right? So leave your land, right? So you're no longer a Canaanite. You're no longer from Ur, right? Leave the city of your birth, right? You're no longer this particular. You're not a New Yorker or a Bostonian or an Angelian or a Chicagoan or anything. And then leave your father's house, right? Become your own person. Don't just do things because your family did it or because mom and dad told you have to do it, right? Look at that, and then you will get to this place. And this place will be really, really good. And this is a Hasidic idea for the high holidays. I study a lot of the Hasidic masters, and this is a command to each of us. to go on a journey of self-discovery and to leave behind anything during this month that might hold us back. After you do that, once you let go of all the things that are holding you back, then you will find a landscape for your divine soul. You will find the true you, right? So if one of the things that holds you back is that you're angry all the time, well, learn how to leave that anger go. Let go of what is making you angry. If you are afraid, let go of what's making you afraid and take those steps forward. Right? Often we get inspired and motivated to do this, right? We want to go on this journey. We want to discover who we are. We want to do the hard work. We pack our bags, right? We get ready to go, literally sometimes and metaphorically, and we set out on our way, and lo and behold, we end up right back where we started. We didn't change because in the packing of our bags, we brought a lot of the stuff that holds us back. We weigh ourselves down. Our intention might be pure and it might be very real. We do want to be someplace new. We do want to start over and start fresh. We want to do tshuva. We want to return back to the path. We want to be somewhere new. But we weigh ourselves down with all the baggage we bring. So I want to suggest that the key to meaningful change during the month of Elul is not really about knowing how to get to this new place. It's not about knowing how we do it. It's not about the new place in general. What it is knowing is how to unload the past and how to let go of the things that constantly weigh us down. And that's where we move. That's how we discover ourselves. That's what the month of Elul is about. It's not just about the religious work. It's not just about the work of preparing for the day of judgment, Yom Hadin, as the rabbis put it. But it's about becoming a new person. And it's about letting go of the things that hold us back. So if we let it go, as we move into the new year, we can literally shape our own futures. Shabbat Shalom and Shabbos.
Well spoken, thank you.
Thank you. All right, a little bit of Kiddush. I have Kiddush. I don't have Maury here to remind me that it's Kiddush time, and so.
Kiddush.
Nah, David, thank you. See, David steps in. And we have a little bit of Kiddush. Vayehir vayivoker yom hashishi, vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz, v'chol tzivam, vayechal Elohim, vayom hashvi'i, melachto asher asah, vayishvot vayom hashvi'i, mikol melachto asher asah, vayavarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, Vayikadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Safri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddeshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lamikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim ki banu b'charta V'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava u'ratzon Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
L'chaim.
All right. Page 282, page 282, we'll begin closing out our evening service for Shabbat with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, latei kedula liotzer b'shit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu Mishpachot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, V'Gor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'Anachnu Korim, U'Mishpachavim U'Modim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu noten shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim v'mahal, u'shminatu zo, v'gomhei meromim, u'eloheinu eidot, emet malkeinu efesu lato, kakahatu b'torato, Yadata hayom v'hashemota el levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim v'mahal v'al haaretz v'nitachat eimod. Katuv b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch li'olam ha'ed. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz. V'yom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. All right, it is the month of Elul, and we have Psalm 27. Psalm 27, and let's read it responsibly. If you're at home, I'm sorry, you don't have Psalm 27, or at least you don't have the translation that we are using. But you can just listen along. Of David, Adonai is my light and my help, whom shall I fear? Adonai is the stronghold of my life, whom should I dread?
When evildoers draw near to me, to devour my flesh, when my foes and enemies have threatened, they trip and they fall.
Though armies besiege me, my heart shall not fear. Should war beset me, still do I trust.
One
One
thing
thing
I do ask of Adonai is that this I seek,
to
to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold the Adonai's sweetness, and to gaze on God's house.
God hides me in God's shelter on the day of evil, conceals me in the recesses of God's tent. On a rock, God raises me up.
And now my head rises
Rises over my enemies around me, let me offer in God's tent sacrifices, joyous shouts.
Let me sing
and
him
him
to
honor.
Hear, O Lord, my voice when I call, and grant me peace and answer me.
Have you, my heart said,
Seek my face, your face, Lord, I do seek.
Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in wrath. You are my help. Abandon me not, nor forsake me, O God of my rescue.
My
Father
father
and mother forsake me, Adonai would gather me in.
Teach me, O Lord, your way, and lead me on a level path because of my adversaries.
do
Do not subject me to the will of my foes, for false witnesses rose against me,
for
reasons
reasons
of violence.
had I not the assurance that I would enjoy the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Hope for
Hope
the
for the
Lord.
Lord, let your heart be firm of hope, and hope for the Lord.
והוא להם אנטי לראות כתוב אדוני בארץ חיים, קווה אל אדוני, חזק יאמץ ליבך וקווה אל אדוני.
Now, yeah, you got it.
We continue to observe Shloshim for Pauline Kaplan. This week we observed the following yard sites: Arnold Gottfried, Nan Tesser's father; David Freeman, Bruce and Robbie Freeman's father; Sophie Gordoff's brother, Mark's uncle; Isaac Hassel, relative of Pauline; Lake Poland Jr., father of Lake, Marilyn, Lois Ann, Rosalind, and Annette; Charles S. Bro, second son of F and Irene, father of Charles, Tony, and Sarah Lynn; Louis Gaffin, Pauline's aunt's brother-in-law; Bernie Hyman, Jack Hyman's cousin, son of Jacob and Anne; Victoria Lee Messinger, Judy Lentz's granddaughter; Ann Pittich, Carol Katz's mother; Martha Schnitt, related to Sid; Dorothy Gold Grow, second wife of Pat, mother of Andy and David and Stanley Swab; Lillian Elderman Kolker, Joe's wife, Lee and Matt's mother; Hyman Schenker, related to David Ritter; Joan Snyder, Stephen Snyder's cousin; Eva Strauss Sophie, related to Harold and Ida Strauss; Esther Rothenberg, Joan Lerner's aunt. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they always rest in peace.
Amen, amen.
Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shmei Rabbah, B'almad, Yivrach, Yerutei, V'yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, U'chayei, Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agalah, V'zman Kariv, V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Yivrach, V'elam, L'mei Maya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitahar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalah, Shmei V'kisha, B'richu, Le'elam, Min Kol, B'yachata, B'shirata, Tushbachata, B'nechamata, Ha'amiram, B'alma, V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shlama, Rabbah, Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Ramav, Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. All right, friends, we are almost finished, and a couple of quick announcements and things. This week marks the 50th anniversary of the massacre of the Israeli Olympians at the Munich Games. 50 years ago this week. Heartbreaking. It's also this weekend the 21st anniversary of 9/11, and we are sad to hear of the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Not a good week in general for happiness, but yep, a lot of bad things have happened, but we've come very much forward in a lot of ways. All right, services tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and then again Sunday at 9. Sunday afternoon, we'll have our High Holiday Learning session, and we are going to be dipping into Psalm 27. And if there's one text that you want to read during the High Holiday period, this is the Psalm, and we'll take a look at why it's so powerful. That's Sunday at 3. I'll be here in the boardroom and also on Zoom. Monday night at 6:30 on Zoom, this one's on Zoom, is our deep dive into Genesis. And so that's at 6:30. Tuesday night, there is a ritual and music committee meeting at 6, followed by a board of trustees meeting at 7. Wednesday is the Yiddish choir, the best little Yiddish choir from coast to coast, the choir with the most. And that's live and on Zoom. And then we're back Friday night for more services and getting very, very close to the high holidays at that point. So lots going on this week. And remember, we are open. So Come and see us on Friday nights. Come see us on Shabbat mornings. Come see us on Sunday mornings. We've got something for everybody. And so let's close out on 321. 321 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'yacharei Kiflot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara V'hu Echad V'ein Sheni L'hamshilo L'hachbira V'li Reshit V'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'ha'misra V'hu Evi V'chadoli V'tzur Chevli V'yehitzahara V'hu Nisi Umanosli Menat Kohosi B'yomechra B'yahado Aki Ruchi V'yetishan B'yahira V'im Ruchi V'yati Adonai Li V'lo Yira. Well, it looks like we've got quite a few people saying hello to us this Shabbos evening through the interwebs. And let's see, Jenny Bro, wishing everyone a lovely Shabbat. Thank you, Jenny. Same to you. There's Mom. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. Thanks, Mom and Cliff. Hope all have a nice weekend. You too. ML, Merly, and Herman are enjoying a nice visit from their daughter Amy and grandson Ozzy. Well, that is truly a blessing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We wish everyone an enjoyable and peaceful Shabbat. Thank you to the Glazers who are enjoying Amy and Ozzy. Grand David Tate, good Shabbos to everyone. Thank you. David Johnson and Patricia, wish all a Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, David and Patricia. Shabbat to you. And Donna Wilson, gorgeous weather and weekend coming. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Well, thank you, Donna, and same to you. And I hope it's true that the gorgeous weather is going to be here. All right, friends, Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Hope to see you all soon. And please be careful out there.
Everybody be safe.
Judy, is Donna Wilson moved back here permanently?
You heard